Shasye was studio. Mensaka Ura Hache, Derek Emmanuel, Obeni a economist, Osanso a research and policy analyst, a War Institute for Energy Security. When I get some more about UTV so.
Meje so.
When you know what pume.
Nyankopon de achebe na wonso e.
Kakra. System ni mo tight ba bende.
Because the better sorry be na fango bo akosoro. Na Ghana hanum so fango bo nya kosoro na se bibia bo kosoro. And nti ade hadwen by a bompa say going forward no. Ye mpanifo betie de ebeka na omo so omo hwe de betima aboa the ordinary consumer because mrene wo mu nyemrepa the ordinary person continues to suffer because ono be kwa akofro trotro obeko dwom na say dokono ida say ate ne quantity ni so anase yatum say 3 cedis na say 5 cedis e basa na ne ho kire no na enye ono nkwa nyina ho kire driver for so otika mbabo so ni passenger no mo twe asa ona hye da yatum so na bia enye ono na yere afo sama na esa enti pan ne begu so abo say Nyankopon ebe maye nyansa ne adwen na ye mpanifo so betimi aboa na de ehia betimi ama the ordinary consumer aye more stable na ma the improved standard of living no and no etimi abem.
Okay, we dey tell the Ghana Institute for Energy Security when dey putting be na mudie wa wanim kakra bi kire.
Okay, me da na me nche wetiefo anyumrewe.
Obi ajo.
The Institute for Energy Security more or less NGO by energy sector think tank yet me winning awards over the years. It's an award winning policy think tank. Now, we drive any discussion in the energy sector, looking at the energy demand and supply. Maybe our publications, discussion, debates, media engagement, and others. Now, I did it through back to me, I benchmark and say, full projections. Now, Busumi Bian, your 2 pricing windows in every month. And into one of the things we do is to be doing full projections. Now, factors say to make issue shame, it may be a Busumi way. For the first pricing window of November and I say for a second pricing window of November no because of this and other factors you expect is a fango bo ebe kosro ebe stable and I say esubete no you hear those projections they tell those projections say e boa ma nyina tumi say going forward no say na nyoma tie nti say kona ko ho a we mutumi nhyew the corner is abon kokko and most times to our projections and our predictions no about on point.
Okay,
and so that's one of the things we do.
Yo, Ghana 4% Edian pana Cynthia they said the fango petrol ni diesel almost every day, almost every week. We could be an ya to price them. Edian see Edian ko fast away in aba.
But that's a bill. Say car fuel pricing in Ghana may take Ghana as a whole, not other countries. But Ghana no, there are 3 major factors and they affect your fango bo. The first one no international prices. International price because a home near cry a fango deba. And on the international level, no, we do not have or we do not produce a lot of oil. And so our production is very insignificant. I aim to me call it the short. Unlike if find so far your cocoa production. We share Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire in terms of cocoa production, we are the highest. And it's anka ABA and Kasa quantity need to be produced in terms of oil there. In a bit me back I say ne, ye a bit me turn at this price, won't turn it means Ghana will be able to gain a lot of benefits. And it's on the international level, no, the forces of demand and supply between the oil producers in here, especially in the period that COVID, that COVID, our economies are opening up now. A lot of businesses are now coming on board, so they need the fuel to survive. And so those forces of demand and supply now, that causes the international price. And it's because they call craft and going to Ghana no affect here. Now second factor no see the na exchange rate. Now because they call craft and going from an only ediabano, who see the no a hondi etisay because uni dollar and the crowd in aba. And to see the no ain't mean jinan and answer affect important now oko craft and gono ediaba Ghana has say. Now see any one of the things in this currency no we say and numbers because it's so volatile. That the exchange rate depreciation loss on affected the importers. And it's all to born in modern no dollar ni kakra no to me craft and go ne bar. Once so no for the Christmas. And it's also the BI so that is the second factor. Third factor no taxes. Now taxes and margins in the price build up no. Sabi enye me no na de koto so. Buying and through the forces of MPA any some of the Boston mono these are taxes in eba taxes like price stabilization recovery levy and when you know na buy sanitation and pollution levy and you know na buy for last year no mo buy special petroleum tax your energy sector levy your road fund levy and your bust margin UPPF and a full market margins and a whole
lot petrol ni diesel boss.
Yes, there were 12 different taxes and margins in the price builder for fuel. Now, so 12 different taxes and margins, and also affected. And it is same funny saying those 12 taxes never honor. So buying by a special petroleum tax, me year free. It means over pump no amount to be year free no. To reflect at the various purposes. Yatiso. Say sanitation and pollution levy. You want to buy last year before the can budget. You know what they buy. Now, so buying to me say no so free. Over pumps no. Over so yatiso. Now in the energy sector, 1 peso a crown for so. 1 peso is so huge. Now, but 10 peso imagine so what on 100,000 barrels of crude per day. Now so the 10 pesos are calculated. Then multiply no by 30 days. And 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Imagine how much you are getting. And so that is it. So the taxes and margins, also contribute to the price build up in Ghana.
And the taxes are 12 in the good fango boss.
Yes, there are 12 different taxes and margins. Those taxes and margins are affected fango board. And in for the past 1 year, taxes and margins are stable. Because I stable and see young for being and become
12 no.
Yes, and young saying you be funny and young TB so. And it's is stable. But for the past 1 month, you say no, the two major factors na ama fango born now can say you better so now you be an emwasano. Because of the international price and you see the na day. But main far way example for the second pricing window of October, as an ebisi November, me say no. On the international market, diesel costs almost 11%. But you buy a Ghana has here, you see the news depreciating 32%. And the finance according to trouble one god. And it's on the international market, across 11%. You see the news one can be my boy importers and to me my price and cost no. See the news I have volatile depreciation at channel and the news depreciated by 32%. So can you no boma? It means you have market and the various pumps say a cotono. So that is why we saw that huge or marginal increase in the price for especially diesel. On the international market, petrol and shell and cost by 2%. But because the same dollar near there, it crowd the number. Dollar also depreciate, still depreciate by 32%. Anything at petrol subo also. So that is it.
Openina and Toko cost Russia and Ukraine and a post-COVID-19 global crisis. As we are seeing, I can't be now. My fango boy, hey, come.
Nyamianum Ukraine and also play some role. I say a play is part of the factors. But saying the mechanical. The forces of demand and supply. The government of Ghana and Ghana for you know control over exchange rate and taxes. German so and we do not have a direct control over it. Say Russia, Ukraine, or say Russia, Ukraine, we cannot call the shot on the international market. And it is Russia and other countries now which we produce the Asian countries now which we produce on larger quantities. Or buy determine prices because of the forces of demand and supply. It do COVID by time na COVID by we say lockdown about economies were shut down. And it's you say fango boy a money bar less than $10. That is the forces of demand and supply. When there is an increase in demand, that's the supply need to meet here. If it's a shortage, but when the supply is more than demand, if surpluses causes prices to come down. And it's on the international level there, we government of Ghana and the Ghanaians do not have a control over. But what we have control over, ASC na honde because it is the government policies and programs in there which may ensure say our currency is stable. Now, if your currency will be stable, then it means that your economy, the structure of your economy should not be import dependent. Import dependent say almost everything be ano at the bar. It means that there's so much pressure on the dollar. So you need more dollars to be able to import those things. And as I see the name and the importers will suffer, but they'll pass on the cost to Miniwa. So what must say. And that is the first factor. Now, because say you all control over the exchange rate. Now the other factor you all control over the taxes. Taxes are buying and the buy. Bibi to say price
taxes no me be free so
that is it because funny price stabilization recovery levy e dey need to say or say price stabilization is here you stabilize the prices na no be na ediko tua RFO any premix no and they say buy so we subsidy no cry dan e da RFO so price stabilization recovery levy say a price in cost na then buy air to cushion the ordinary consumer and it is our price stabilization recovery levy you tua 16 pesos for petrol 14 pesos for diesel. For these several years, what is the accountability for it? What does the government use that money for to the benefit of the ordinary consumer? It you have for bust margins. The bust margins are supposed to be used by bust to maintain their tank farms and the others. Now, bust is supposed to be a strategic reserve for the government. And the American US on two fango, but the fango do in its reserve can take care of the country for several years. But Yemisa Ghana say bust na ya creating to be the strategic reserve for the government. Sene a German so in terms of any natural disaster and a pandemic, the whole market comes to a standstill. Can bust guarantee Ghanaians for even 1 week supply of fuel? Okay. So these are major critical issues. I will say you look at it. Now the other factor in it say
Minchano, with the Minchano. Example, yani Ura Hache Derrick Emmanuel, economist, research and policy analyst, and aiding our Institute for Energy Security. Mese ye kwa humana so na yene Ura Peter Bestmark Kofi aiding or executive director at my Institute for Liberty and Policy Innovation. Abanika se UTV suni mo ajo. Na bibia boko de.
Adom ye wo
Ura Kofi, where dey your frewa anye bone? Am say who ye economist. Ebesi ehu, e pa na ba se de. Adetonfo, adwadifo, womo niema, womo peja bonom, de bia be chibia na yetutum. Who ye economist? Chechire mu, Ghana for beso mu. Di enti na adwadifo abribia no mo to niema mu sa.
Right, good evening to my chef's listeners. But my main corrective was I'm not an economist, but I'm a free development policy analyst.
Okay.
Policy research, more into private sector research. Yeah. Right. So, question idea. I think yeah, Kabi na with sister stations na idea. I mean, they cost price hikes or commodities so. You see, dollar and exchange rate and cost in fuel pricing and as a hikes in fuel pricing. And now the third one is so advantage market disruptions na eba. Inti se o share your exchange rate. I mean, send dollar no cost no. Importing there, you be imported that because of produce share our hand importation in the year intimi so and o share port one almost wa taxes are a good port why the importation a dos that goes beyond 12 na a good oil also you to our port war inti say city no a bathroom na what the bathroom not no cost reading kasa ye taxes be free and the dollars na ekra ade no so eba and most of the we na ye tuaka e port on so no e dollar mu and ye di tua you call the cities na what the tua as an importer into I know the deal so in your profit kakra into no kakra atoso and my prices no e cost but and no ye to some extent no morally right to do that but about the other part of the prices of cost na oil na Ghana you say you have to go to be affected which we know time memorial account what the whole entire economy around on three things exchange rate oil pricing and then the taxation. I think the fourth one also had to do to some extent communication taxes and also the Sanyama and Naima Bubosi move back a cost affected the cost of man in terms of Jania Beto, Kaya Befa, economic activities a bit secure markets will be affected. Now, I buy at the Yama Bibria to so time port on taxes and also exchange rate is a cost Uba oil side ones who are crude oil and oil so are it's by affecting. And at the greediness of yen market women businesses. Yeah, we say okay, we say taxes, we say oil, we say exchange rate. But no matter come to yeah, the bit to swa osha emfa kwemusa. Some extent say wakoto adie our stocks. One so our stocks one wakoto adie ni binde ya. The China just on 10 cents. The China also on 20 Ghana. Uncle Fabian so airport buy. But also share what will happen in terms of importation because one two musu kakra or the kind of fight so far back because dollar na cost on ultimately Fabian back. But for me, I think greediness no so kakra sankan you see the share ama yeah money to so no yeah quite I mean real kakra. Say they too because of greediness so to me, these four things now drive the economy at this juncture. Nina akosro and nipan so they how to make profits quick in the market and so ababe county ababe 5. These are 5 indicators and I drive prices market this year. But the third one is young greediness. But the other ones in there they are controlled by the state. The government interventions within that 4 areas and our causes rise hikes system and I answer the end
yo ora Peter Kofi again I say aban ye because Ghana for esu Ghana for ahonchira bapa again rule na say animanimi aban play so that anyman be okay kakra.
Yes, this were a very interesting question. I think quite a number of colleagues in the bisa. First thing I think about inflation and it's tax inflation is something like cost pool. So prices na danya manosono. And I say oil na akosro dollar na akosro tin CD no any other factors am aboboso no and am prices no akosro. To some extent, also want to control dollar, which will control taxes. There are so many nuisance taxes. I was by the time I buy taxes, if you on because we saw in COVID, we Obama even over file or returns the crap our extensions, now they are within that file. So many nuisance taxes. A very good example, tourism levy. For example, some of our restaurants, how you tourist site. See, but I say Makoti Gano won't quite the tourist levy. So, but I think tourist levy it should be at the tourist site. You see, you can share Danyamane what tourist site on Nanka kind of meet Piano. Yeah, the levy asoso. In tourism levy at this time, they will say it to me if your number prices are a war restaurants maybe the hotels na the it to me a bathroom MIA. Then Ubun e-levy, one of the biggest nuisance taxes Yaba. I affect transactions. Into all business via on any transaction via also consider that of the e-levy because sometimes you need to pay through mobile money. You're going to call Northern region, to call Western region, depending on your location. In this e-levy, so one of the nuisance taxes are abandoned to the Abama. Affected inflation.
Abaning e-levy in free.
Oh, it is time to when you cry at least 1.5. You should make it around 0.5 by now because I say ukushim consumers, not ukushim businesses. Don't to me a year you might say almost a year. Into tourism levy. I will say at now I say by now if you are not the share only places of tourist sites. Mekano, then Quatadu KFC and tourist site. I'll give me tourism levy. It's a place, it's a eatery place. We got with the and what there's and we can share pictures or honour. We can share historical wavy objects via honour. Tourism should be taken out. E-levy should be reduced to 0.5 by now. Looking at the economic trends, E-levy
and Famra 0.5.
It should be at 0.5. It's at 0.5. It's not there at all because Ninaka, Nama inflation, across road. On the other side of when you know, I mean, also light, if you be street light lady, into talk and we say in idea, a woman, it's part of the nuisance taxes because after all, in Canada, all the street lights are not functioning. Now, so you know,
street light in your Juma and so you're home levy.
You get it. Some of the we know a nuisance taxes by the time in Labano, and then I think that economics idea in terms of telling you the number of margins and taxes they go oil. So, in sanitation levy, for example, by this time, no, it's to me a clear field enough to some extent to measure impact of 10% at that oil, because okay, they say in oil, no, 0.5% on your liter. It's a nuisance tax. Let's say if you know. Then also, I would say you share the area of say high wage bill. You say in wage bill now also. Your funk of people about abem into ye tiamuka a wash routine caneno. To some extent, you know, by this time, I work on contract. There are so many retirees or more on contract. A serious government by this time, you should be able to end their contract or reduce their contract length, you know, higher their more. Now, which may save about maybe 0.5% of the expenditure on the wage bill. That amount can kind of be saved. You can use it to subsidize so many things of course, woman. And then another thing that is very important is wastage. Make us say wastage because to some of us, you know, we see it as a vote buying way of trying to win elections. A very example is a pilgrimage. Oma sabi aban ebo am say omo ko me Canada no because subsidize because a religious thing we are talk so for to some extent, you know, by this time you take it out so it means me and share say to can be open. So what person call America so take up any religious expedition bia no wa pesikana fa etia but sanyama no. And I'm happy to say subsidy on premise. That is one part of it because whom here to some extent to have that subsidy. You can't say, oh, you can't say, oh, you can't subsidize it. Now, so, say, a minimum in our subsidize it. And to some extent, you know, so I didn't know our premise not possible because of taxes. This all they are at one man possible. Not as what I know about subsidize it. Something you have already caused it, prices are costly. In the side and also to some extent not to be a bebo. It's the way you feel no then go beyond so that support on pilgrimage and other subsidies, especially on the areas of fertilizers. Now you put in port. You are subsidizing fertilizers now so still your cost to cry could do item. Yes, go fertilizers at the area if taxes na amana postura take off the taxes or reduce the taxes, now farmers into so that subsidy can also enter into areas that are manufacturers and so to produce fertilizer on lower amount. Finally, so it is also important to say you pay something you call haircut or loans. Send a haircut, some extent a haircut or investments. Banks can also do haircuts. Government can help banks to do haircuts or loans. Into loans they are mawa with the year to man. A do baby na say no ma be a businessman who me into Canada. Why I kept for car banks will be it say or the mouth at an interest of about let's say 15%. The bank can say, okay, well, we reduce that interest of 15%, maybe 8%. And we did that.
Hello. Oh, Observer Peter Bismarck Kofi, our man, so Executive Director, Institute for Liberty and Policy Innovation. Edin Komono. Yamna Studio. Rahache Derek Emmanuel, Economist, Research and Policy Analyst, Institute for Energy Security. When now Kasafa say America, omuntu fango, but a nay say a hocha craba, one more fango, a bit make it to so many years. Ghana, ye two fango, but boss near Juma. Now Kasa, what do you
and the number training in Alice. Say unim fango faso to every economy no. I was so to me anticipate certain things that all control over and the only control over. Economy cannot survive without fuel. Now Osha also say economy has a so when you fango affect the price of goods and services there. And also the plans and policies, the programs, and the time beyond you will have energy security and a fuel security, so that it may bring me back. Uncle say me kosalai and a shortage about system no. And into a former president, first president of Ghana, Kwame Nkrumah. Now you're two fango by setting up Tema oil refinery.
Okay.
The entire setting up Tema oil refinery and say you bit my refining fango ewa Ghana has say. First, all refining fango Ghana, Ghanaians benefit, and any sanity. A month when you government is tax revenues and a lot of other things. Secondly, you're able to attract investment to Ghana, and it's those in the sub-regions, Serbia, Nigeria, and other countries, they will rather come to Ghana. Ghana will become a destination for refining. So what must say? They say your capacity at the more refinery 45,000 barrels per day. Over the past 1 year, you refining fango work on. And into Sanka, it may be a man to buy 100,000 and 150,000 barrels per day. A lot of other countries and investors, the fango back Ghana, they refine it here. So much me refining fango no Ghana. The BDCs on $1 no kokra fango no free Temari refinery. They just have to lay their pipes, make the needed payments, no much money on fango. Then the OMCs can easily get it. Now Basana Ghana for no will always have access to fango, and we will not go to the market then say fango yatum. Now the factor man two money say see the 90 naso because you don't need the dollar to go and import it there. So what must say. But right now the Temari refinery for the past 1 year is not working. It is all about government commitment to revamp it because Sabaye na dream say me di menai si form na mama Temari refinery ya adwuma enyo bi ne be se okwan because it is a government property. Me no dia but aban na eden edi anim. But for the past 6 years MD Beba Ochina board Chene Asisano, Ochina new MD, the next day new MD. For the past 6 years, almost 5 MDs, there isn't any policy coherence.
Yes,
MDs almost 5. So it means that there's no policy cohesion. Because policy cohesion be what say me mandate, now me say okay, revamp Temari refinery within 2 years, 3 years. Manya, you hold me accountable for the entire went to me and I'm sure people will be more responsible. People will be more accountable for everything they've been appointed for. But for the past years, yes, and here, and the way bani assisano or kwano or nobody goes to check the financial accounts of whether the person maybe misplaced or misused money and other things. But when you see, say, government ain't me yes, how do you do? Engage the private sector so that you can have a strategic partner. I only need my year, Juma. Somewhere June, IES Eddie released by say we are calling on government to step and as offer nice form not to revamp Temari refinery. And China Energy Minister said, "Omanya private company, omuni that partnership." But till now, we don't know the way forward for it. But certain time can answer me, and I can me revamp Temari refinery. Yanka say it me yeah fangwa. There's nothing about Russia Ukraine. There's nothing about Russia Ukraine because Russia Ukraine international market they don't know how to determine prices. The entire we to me any refinery or Temari refinery say machines in system or down. They need capital injections. Capital injections, Abameka chose Niska. So engage the private sector or the bar.
And for near Muhuno taxes do at that fangos no. And it been
good. It's good. Sena,
taxes near 12.
Yes, and then 12 and yes, meet 12. There are 12 different taxes and margins. What price build up for fuel. We are not talking about the X pump and then X refinery price, but the various taxes, and no one them. And it is a buy and me revamp Temari refinery. Sunday, Nano President Kasa will say they are going to look for cheaper places or make more imported from where they are. And you beside will say the international market, they operate with transparency. Say himself from go ahoy. And it is not like say yeah, who the fan go no be. And what keep pushing baby and obi any found. It's not like that. That is why they operate with an international price. And no oilprice.com. You realize that on the international market, it is selling above $92 per barrel. That is what they all go by. I want to be this is for the eco free boba. Now a bar the dollar but government of Ghana through bust. Every to me I import on also fango and then Ghanaians will benefit from it. And then I may capture the strategic reserve now bust they control almost just 5% of the market. The BDC is not controlling 95% of the market. Yes, controlling 95%.
And I bind the animal control just 5%.
5%. And in Tina, I buy what we say you need to expand. You need to operate. You need to invest capital.
The buying first kind shame.
And fan shame no. We are boss margin a year to so no. And who fast one is saying because you have boss margins and in one are buying there. And it's boss margin ujia. O tank farms in BMB. Now say o be tank farms now which must store farm go for 1 year. Imagine sanka boss 8 me store farm go for 1 year. January near top farm go per liter. It was around 7 cities, 8 cities.
January this year.
This year it was around 7 cities, 8 cities.
And then
and now 1623 Ghana cities. And it imagine sanka boss it must top farm go for 1 year, 2 years.
And now 16
per liter farm go.
Because I'm 16. There be
23.
17.99.
The maker say it is a market, free market, competitiveness.
Okay.
It will be the 90 cities.
Go. Instead go in your mind then.
Yes.
Now
17.99.
And we have petrol. And a diesel 23.49.
Good. And
it only 1 peso. Now do 18 cities.
And in as of January 9, 8 cities. No. 10 cities. And Abeka home.
And the times
more than two.
More than times 2.
And NLB catch us and can bust 8 minutes reserve for 1 year, 2 years. Sanka Samri and the boy de German so people pushing Ghana for no say they release that to the market. Who release no bad market now. Sebi yan kopom be nka see tomb. Na no nko ma dwedini no so dey into in your mem. This is a simple thing. But for the past years boss enye say adwuma no and they are rather renting out their tank farms. Boss in the tank farms no they rent it out to the BDCs.
So they hire
was store farm go now no to rental charges man we are not be farm go. So that is what is happening. That is why boss for us if they can guarantee you say Ghana farm go say economy now by the year. So we don't have access to international market. Whether they can guarantee Ghanaians for even 1 week supply of fuel, it be ni hono. And it's just like cash and carry. Or the banner or the call. Then so we come on eco look for cheaper ways of sourcing fuel no. If you are look within and a revive with the refinery and a boss and the Juma send the or say yeah.
So the fan will cry to be.
Ye to be has say
the call,
but the woman say ye two ye cry the kwama on it. We are more refinery we are and it's that would have been the purpose of the refinery, but that is what is not happening. And it's about Timaya for no ye bre because we put leaders in place to solve and give solutions to us. Now Abba say no, say you cannot determine what will happen to the next pricing window. Our German Koso.
The best time to me.
Say for the second pricing window of November, best started 3rd, 4th week of November. Week of November. Say the way I Koso are man on it. Let's see the name mentioned and also there. And then for the second pricing window of November, no, Fango Bobecoso. There be a new talk right now. The intermakers and they say, BDC is no more craft and going back Ghana. Omu here on average $400 million on monthly basis. So $400 million, no, government of Ghana, it will be just $100 million through Bank of Ghana. Now $100 million, that is just 30% of Sika Omu here. 70% in our cano, or call the black market. Aqua says cano. Now call black market now, you demand at a higher rate because they are not getting access to the dollar. And the demand at a higher rate, so those who born whom more did not craft and go bar on your for the Christmas. And to listen the better so. Or the two so any bar catcher say because of CD now hold dinty. And unti ye to find go boom. Ye net 2 months minimum there, ye won't. So the government should look within. So what's this penny force to go and look for cheaper sources of fuel? No? Look within, solve the problem within. The ones that will control over, let the oil refinery be operational, let boss be efficient, take away some of the nuisance taxes in the price build up, and see what will happen to the price of fuel. You see that there will be that stability. But because we don't know where the cheaper sources of fuel are now. Say the uko now you are buying the amount at a discount rate. It means you are going to do better trade. Better trade, it means that you are going to exchange some of our natural resources for it. Now, as of now, we don't know which natural resources you are going to exchange for that. And we don't know the terms and conditions are because we know, say, on the international market, baby, and we can say, I had a fan go a bofu, I will be in Honoma, this is a bank one or that knowledge. That is the situation at hand.
All right. Obani we dey ebreno eko ebeda wasipi azafo ye ni Owura Hache Derrick Emmanuel or your economist research and policy analyst at the Institute for Energy Security. Thank you so much for coming. Mamina production team no ase mabodwuma pa. Kase hyase oti adwoa obia obin enka aha na di show no esi na yes sorry see show edit to aso the red light show. We about Vicky Zuga Atranse red light show no edit to aso the amamo. Me dey David Ufori Safo Bongo Difara onyame adoma echena so ebesane mu edesia yakra manya.